Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a really tough and emotional topic for a lot of parents. What do you do when it feels like your child is just a magnet for accidents and sickness? We're going to explore a teaching that offers a way to find some peace in all that fear and anxiety. All right, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll get into that deep anxiety that parents feel. Then, we're going to look at a pretty challenging idea about whether your child is truly yours. After that, we'll explore what a parent's role really is, how to actually put all this into practice, and finally, how this whole shift in thinking can bring some real comfort. So, first things first, let's really connect with the heart of this problem. You know, that heavy, sinking feeling of fear and guilt that can just take over when you see your child getting hurt again and again. I mean, this is the question, right? It's the one that can keep a parent up at night. And the teaching we're looking at today actually started because a parent who was just desperate for an answer asked this exact question. You can just feel the pain in this, can't you? It's so raw. It captures not just the hurt, but how quickly a parent turns to self-blame. They even wondered if things like using hand-me-down clothes were somehow causing bad luck. That's the kind of heavy emotional weight we're talking about. So how does this teaching even begin to address that kind of pain? Well, it comes at you with a pretty radical idea, one that might be tough to hear at first. It suggests that maybe these accidents aren't just random. Maybe, just maybe, they're a kind of message, a wake-up call for the parents to completely change how they see things. So the big idea here is that the child's struggle isn't just some tragedy to be endured. It's a signal. It's life basically tapping you on the shoulder, saying, hey, stop. You need to take a look at your own life and the assumptions you're living by. And boom, there it is. This is probably the most challenging idea in this whole teaching. It goes right after our most fundamental belief, that our children belong to us. And it suggests that this very idea of ownership is actually the root of the problem. This slide just lays it out so perfectly. On one side, you have the my child view. It's like you're holding them so tightly as your possession, and that becomes this huge source of anxiety. But on the other side, you have nature's child, a soul that you're just here to guide, someone who belongs to something much bigger. The teaching says that our tight grip, that feeling of mine, actually gets in the way and stops a higher power, call it God, nature, the universe, from stepping in to protect them. Okay, so if your child isn't something you own, then what's your job? What's a parent's role in all this? Well, that leads us right to the next big idea, shifting your mindset from being an owner to being a steward or a caretaker. And it all comes back to this one core principle, non-possession. It's about seeing our kids not as things we need to control, but as individual souls who've been entrusted to us for a little while by the universe for a purpose. So here's the kicker. Your main job isn't to be a helicopter parent, obsessing over every little thing out of fear. Your real job is to find your own purpose in life and then to live that purpose in a way that helps the world around you. And this is the incredible promise at the center of this whole teaching. It says that when parents stop obsessing and start living their own mission, their kids are automatically looked after by that greater force we've been talking about. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds a little out there, a little abstract. So let's get down to brass tacks. What does living your own life and finding your purpose actually look like in the real world? It's really laid out as a 3-step playbook. Step 1, seek out wisdom, learn, study how to live a good life. Step 2, take what you've learned and figure out what your unique purpose is. And step 3, which is so important, act on it. Do something that benefits other people. This quote just hits the nail on the head. It makes the connection so clear. Your own growth and the good you do in the world aren't separate from your child's safety. They are directly, powerfully connected. It's like your positive actions create a shield of protection around them. So by doing this, by making this big shift in focus from your child back to yourself and your purpose, you can finally let go of that massive weight of anxiety and find some real peace. So what this all boils down to is trust. It's about letting go of that illusion that you can control everything and just trusting that there's a natural order to things. And when you're living in line with your purpose, that order has your back. And this right here, this is the comfort it offers.
It's a deep reassurance that when you focus on living right instead of on constant worry, you're actually opening the door for that divine protection to flow to your child. You're not abandoning them, you're handing them over to the best protection there is.
So we're left with this one big question to think about. What if true love for our kids isn't about worrying and trying to control every outcome? What if the most loving thing we can do is to become the best, most purposeful people we can be and trust that our own good life is the greatest protection we could ever give them?